Hi, well, I'm doing a video of a repair job on my Mountfield Multi-Tool 5-in-1. It's all working absolutely fine until fairly recently, where if I had the unit at different angles and when I opened the throttle to obviously to start grass trimming or hedge cutting, it would just completely die on me. I noticed that the breather or tank pressurization tube here, next to it the fuel tube here, the fuel tube itself was having a lot of air bubbles in it, almost to suggest that wasn't enough fuel going through the system. Couldn't really understand why. When I took the fuel tank off, I noticed that the fuel comes in through this rubber housing here, like this grommet. This tube that you can see here is actually inside the tank, and with the filter attached to it on the other side. This is only meant to actually come up a very small way into the bottom of this housing here. Then it narrows to allow this tube then to fit into the top, and then that's the connection made. What happened on mine is this tube, which you can see it's extended now, I've done that, but sits halfway in it actually come off. So unless the tank was completely full, there was no fuel getting through. And this design here is, it's totally inadequate. As I say, I've used it maybe maybe a dozen times, let's say, and already this fuel tube had fallen inside, so the engine was in fact starving with fuel. I've tried my best to actually have a secure fitting inside this housing, but it's rubber at the end of the day and it seems to have perished very early, and this tube is not actually sticking inside. So until I can get a longer fuel tube, what I've done is I've pulled it right the way up. There is still plenty of tube actually left inside attached to the fuel filter, and my plan is then to take this fuel hose off and then attach this directly onto the bottom of the fuel inlet into the carburetor here. That I think will be the fix. So unless there's any other issues I get with it and that doesn't work, assume that's the fix. So if you're finding that it's cutting out, chances are that fuel tube has come off inside the fuel tank, and you just got a fuel starvation problem. It's not your mixture or carburetor or choke settings or anything like that. It simply is fuel starvation. So hopefully that'll be the source of your problem, and hopefully it's a source of mine. Cheers.